Oh boy. This little bit of ASMR here gonna bring me right back to life. Right back to life. Chris, I am feeling like I went to see a Dark Star Orchestra band with my dad and my uncles last night up in Portland, Maine at the beautiful, what the hell is the venue called? It's like an outdoor venue right on the river.
I don't remember, actually. I know where
Thompson Point.
Okay, yeah. I don't think I've seen a show there, actually.
Thompson Point. Thompson Point's a really, really cool little venue. Modelo Especial. So, today is the 12th, Saturday, July 12th. You're listening to Outdoor Cats. We are in the porch studio. And it's a lovely day out here. Chris, good friend that he is, had the forethinking to bring over two 24-ounce Modelo Especials for us for recording today, which is very kind of him. Looking back on this week, it wasn't much of a week. No, not a whole lot happened, but a couple of really funny things happened. And I want to start the show today with one of those, checking in on District 3, the election for District 3, which is the district that I could care the least about in terms of who wins and who doesn't. It's a lateral move. I really can't find any space between the two candidates, practically, on what they would be like. That's Rob Pizzella, former security chief for Maureen Benienda's regime in the Worcester Public Schools, and John Fresolo, a former state rep who, what did he do? He whipped out his junk or something.
Yeah, John Fresolo is, he's got a whole... You could Google a lot of things on him, I'll put it that way, but...
a Googleable guy.
Yes, an extremely Googleable guy. The thing that caused him to have to leave the State House under a cloud of disgrace was sexually inappropriate texts, I believe, to one of the people who worked in his office, who was a woman. But there's a lot of other, let's just say other people have alleged a lot of other things about John Fresolo. There is a very interesting story that has been alleged by others about John Fresolo getting locked in his car in a cemetery. What he was doing in his car in a cemetery in the middle of the night is unclear. I don't know, probably something extremely normal and not a crime.
Yeah. Listen, I have never been in a cemetery at night and and wasn't doing something actionable, Yeah. We'll put it that way. So Rob Pizzella, on his official campaign Facebook page, he shares a couple screenshots from this newsletter, which many people might not know about, called The Rambler. It is a Rod Lee production, and Chris, I'll show you, but it's laid out like an old school,
like a newsletter, like a actual.
It's like a 11 by 17 PDF.
Yeah.
With hilarious box text and colors and stuff. It's from another time, but this guy...
Like an actual rag, one I could grab 40 copies of and use it to start my wood stove or something.
I've never seen it out in the wild, but I have seen like it gets shared on Facebook before. Realistically, I should have a subscription to this. I think you can have a subscription where you get it like in the mail.
Damn.
And it has Rodley's personal Gmail and cell phone number on the front. On the front page here, just before we get into the substance of this District 3 story, the first article teased at the top is City Manager M- or Dictator, which is, you know, if I can find a copy of this, I will read that article with interest. But the one that we're going to focus on here is Dogfight in District 3. And we have two pictures on the front, one of Rob Pizzella and one of John Fresolo, where, like, they even kind of look the same. Like...
Yeah, they do. You know, nobody can look like George Russell or be George Russell, but your streak of being represented by a man who looks like a toe will remain intact, regardless of who wins.
Which is an absolutely perfect... Chris, without even knowing it, does the perfect transition into the one quote. I don't want to read this whole thing, but there's one quote that I want to pull out. Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I feel your pain on that one. I do not use Facebook on my phone. So
Facebook is...
anything from Facebook on my phone is a fucking hassle.
Facebook is so bad. It's gotten so much worse.
Yeah. I took it off my phone probably 5 or 6 years ago. It's before COVID. And I did it for a month, and it's been 6 years. And I do not miss it being there.
Yeah, I can't stand it. And like so much of the... Actually, just to talk about this for a second, so much of the, like, I would say, stupid and distracting and pointless dramas of local politics, like, there's like a sort of a perfect ratio between how dumb it is and whether it started on Facebook, and it's always like the dumbest ones are start on Facebook. It's just a place that seems like it's almost designed to breed counterproductive discourse. You know,
it does seem that way. Yeah. No, I discovered it was making me feel more than a little crazy, and I decided that it needed to... I still use Facebook, I just only use it on a computer, which they've made exceedingly harder to do also. They really want you on the mobile platform, which is the other reason I won't touch it. But yeah, no, I at least only now can interact with it in the walled garden of, like, deciding to pull it up on my computer rather than just like inertia making me open it on my phone.
Right.
That is helpful for me. I know not everyone can or wants to do that, but it works for me.
So anyway, so back to the article. We're on the inside page here. You know, continued from page 1, and we're in a section where we're talking John Fresolo priorities and his thoughts on the district. So, Mr. Fresolo contends that as a son of Union Hill, a lifelong resident of District 3, and a legislator who represented 42,000 people in, quote, Ward 4, Precinct 3, that's weird, for more than a decade, his familiarity with the far-flung area is second to none. So... a lot of interesting, like, stylistic choices there, but I wouldn't describe District 3 of Worcester, Massachusetts as necessarily a far-flung area. Far-flung from what? Right? Like, it's just Union Hill. It's just, like, the southeastern part of the city. Far-flung. But.
Yeah, I really don't understand. Like, there isn't like, the districts here are all pretty much drawn like anywhere else where you are trying to perhaps disenfranchise the people who live in the urban core in favor of the people who live in the more suburban outskirts.
Right.
Every one of the districts is kind of the same in that regard. I'd say maybe District 4 would be the exception. Otherwise, they kind of all take a little chunk of the center of the city and then mostly push out towards a side.
Yeah.
District 3 is no different in that regard.
Yeah, District 3, it's Union Hill, and then it's the single-family zoned neighborhoods over by the Ecotarium and like sort of the back of the hill where it's that's where the nice neighborhoods are.
Yes.
The nice neighborhoods where they have character. That character that could be in jeopardy. Yeah. But anyway, so Fresolo here says, no one can know it any better than me. I don't need a GPS, he told Maureen Schwab on WCCA in referencing a large circular district. So we're doing map talk here. This is the qualification for running for office is knowing what the district looks like and being able to get around it without a GPS. And this is where it gets really good. He reiterated this to me during our conversation, asserting that the outcome, quote, is going to be close, but that he is strong in a district that was 42 to 48% minority and is now 54-42. Quote, Fresolo, I'll have the Ghanaians, the Kenyans, the Haitians, the African Americans, Juan Gomez is behind me, the Albanians, the Asians. Whoever gets the minority vote will win. Mr. Fresolo is also touting issues that he feels he has a better grasp of. I'll have the Ghanaians. It sounds like he's ordering off of a menu. He goes, I'll have the Ghanaians, the Kenyans, the Haitians, the African Americans. Juan Gomez is behind me. The Albanians, the Asians. Whoever gets the minority vote will win. It's just like this, like you were saying earlier, this guy who looks like a thumb and will almost certainly legislate like somebody who looks like a thumb is loudly touting his race pimping in the pages of the Rambler. He doesn't say like what he'll do for any of these communities. He just says, "I got them. They're mine. I got them."
I love that the one person mentioned specifically by name and not ethnicity is Juan Gomez, a guy who has a lot of experience losing city council races. So I would definitely want him in my corner.
So, I'm actually not. I can't remember who Juan Gomez is. I'm not familiar with
Juan
him.
Gomez ran Centro for a really, really long time until I believe last year. And otherwise is just kind of like conservative Democrat, like a lot of people in the city.
Right.
But yeah, the thing he is known for, I guess, that he actually did. I was going to say didn't fail at, but I would say actually maybe he did fail at running Centro. Centro, by the way, not having a Latin Fest this year for the first time in 30-something years.
Yeah, that's sad.
A real bummer.
Yeah, that's I have that in my weekly index for the post I'm going to be putting up.
Yeah, so I don't know how well Juan actually did over at Centro, given that they are not in the financial health to do one of their marquee annual events. But yeah, anyway, that's what Juan did.
Gotcha. So I think that is such a telling quote for how these like sort of old guard Dems approach their electorate. Like there's just so much contempt between the lines of a statement like that. It's like, I don't know how to put it, but it's just like it's being like they work for me. They're I've already made them the promises that I needed to, and they're working for me now. But he doesn't need to talk about any of the specific needs of any of those communities. He just says they're going to vote for me. I have the minority vote. Also, you know, a guy like him knowing offhand the racial composite of the district is pretty telling. Is maybe in chosen company that might be something that he has a complaint about. This used to be a white district and now it's majority minority. Yeah,
it's very interesting. While we're on the topic of John Fresolo, since we've sort of thrown around some generalized information about his past, I pulled up a Telegram article so that I could actually speak about this with some level of actual recollection of what happened. So John Fresolo resigned under a wide-spanning ethics investigation at the State House to undisclosed aspects of his conduct. Others have alleged that it involved some inappropriate texts to someone who was in his employ. Also, the Telegram mentions that it did involve a series of complaints involving what the Speaker said, the Speaker of the House, called serious violations of House ethical standards. They had multiple weeks of hearings. His per diem travel expenses were being probed. And then, there's a great quote from him here. There was pressure to do this, Mr. Fresolo said of his resignation. I said that I was determined to fight, and I did try to fight as long as I could. It's different now. I have been marginalized. Maybe that's, maybe he's found, some newfound kinship in his marginalization from the oppression of being investigated for serious ethical violations, which, by the way, he resigned.
Yeah, right.
He resigned, and those investigations were not disclosed, and they were stopped, and that was part of the agreement for him to resign. So, make of that what you will.
Right. Yeah, he's like, the District 3 is growing more diverse every day. We have more protected classes like Ghanaians, Kenyans, Haitians, and sex pests like myself.
Disgraced legislators.
Disgraced legislators who may or may not be, allegedly by others, not us, sex pests, are a protected class, and they are marginalized. That's all from that article that I really wanted to hit on there. I think that that quote is just kind of stunning. And like we were saying, District 3 couldn't care less.
The only way in which I feel invested is that I feel like, without question, he will be the funnier city councilor if he wins.
Right.
But I can't say that I want him to win. I don't want either of them to win. I probably shouldn't say in a recording what I would rather happen. But yeah, he will be a funny city councilor.
Yeah. I think that he would be way more. I can just imagine him being so Machiavellian once he gets in there, like pulling the same exact kind of stunts that led to the Speaker of the House doing an ethics investigation into him and forcing him to resign.
Yeah, seeing him do that in a district council seat will be hilarious.
yeah. He's going to be out there chipping his own potholes, just to have something to bring to the manager. Fucking A. Yeah, so I don't know. That's District 5 obviously is the race to watch. And
5 and 2, I would say.
Yeah, of course, 2. 2 is the most optimistic and hopeful race. Coming up, there's a pretty cool fundraiser event for Rob Bellata. It is on. Bum, 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 bum.
Thursday, July 17th.
Thursday, July 17th at Ralph's Rock Diner.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. at Ralph's Rock Diner. So that's this coming Thursday. If you're listening to this around the time that it comes out. If you're listening to this after this coming Thursday, then it was last Thursday, or the Thursday, 2 Thursdays ago even. But that's going to be fun. And it's nice to see the Wootenanny guys getting super involved in the District 2 campaign, especially because last time Rob came within, I think it was within 100 votes.
Yeah, it was something like that, 120.
Yeah, and Candy only got like 1,200 votes. I might be off on the numbers here, but I'm generally pretty close. Yeah, so it is a race that progressives can easily take. And Candy, I think, is in a lot more trouble than she thinks she is. And but honestly, maybe she does sort of understand that she's in trouble because she put out that press release about the landlord tax break that is going to ostensibly lower rents last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, man, that's what I wrote about in my last post, and so we don't need to really go over it much. But it is just crazy that that's the one that they pick to be like, yeah, affordable housing is a real problem. People are getting displaced. Rents are too crazy. How can we give landlords more money? Right?
Yeah. With the added bonus of just making it as intolerable and personally embarrassing for their tenants.
Right, yeah, because they need to collect proof of income from all of their tenants in order to get the tax break.
Now you got to give your landlord your fucking tax return.
Right. Yeah. You have an apartment that's not Section 8 and you don't have to do that. Oh nope. Just kidding. You do now. Yeah. So terrible. But anyway, I'm pulling for Robbie Bellata, man. I think he's really got it. And anyone listening to this that is itching to get involved in some campaign volunteering or is itching to send some money to a campaign, I think that the Bellata campaign would be a really good one to focus your energies and your finances. Also, while we're plugging events, me and Jillian Ganessen teaming up to do a little sort of election-focused mixer at the end of the month, July 31st. We're calling it Worcester Sucks Election Squad, and we're going to do a couple of these getting into November to sort of like extend an open hand to anybody who wants to, come down, talk about the election to people in person, be like, I want to help out, but I don't know how, and then we can connect you to the ways in which you do that, and we'll have some candidates there. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and kind of a cool, low-key way to harness some of this energy, some of this rage energy that people feel about these city councilors, and put it to productive use, just getting people in the same room, talking, sharing ideas,
Yeah, I think that sounds really fun. I'm excited to hear that, especially because I'm gonna miss Rob's thing this Thursday. I'll be out of town, but
yeah.
I'm really excited for that. And I have to say, in general, I feel like there's more energy and there are more feet on the ground with early canvassing and things like that for good grassroots candidates than I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And we won't know how that all shakes out until it shakes out, but that is the hardest thing. They can throw money at Candy and Joe, and they are.
Yeah.
But you can't really manufacture enthusiasm, and you can't literally pay people to vote. And if you could, I'm sure they'd be very happy about that. But,
if you could, they would. Let's be honest. Yeah.
But I don't see them having that kind of energy behind them. They have the same old, fucking bitter losers that they always have. And we've got the energy, and we've got the momentum, and we don't know if it'll be enough, but the only way that we find out is if we try.
Exactly.
So whatever little bit you can do, it actually matters. I know we've said that a bunch of times, but it bears repeating.
So we've talked a lot on this podcast over the months that we've been doing it about Candy Merrill Carlson, and even if the sort of the 8-3 current split on the city council remains, or it gets worse, we're still, short of getting 6 progressives on there, it doesn't really matter. But the psychic victory of having dealt Candy Merrill Carlson punishment for her behavior will be enough for me, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of the races are important. If you're running for one of the other seats and we have not mentioned it, it is not because we don't think District 1 or District 5 or District 2 or 4 are important. They all are. Same with the at-large seats, same with all of the people running for school committee. But taking Candy out would be short of taking the mayor out, which I don't think we can do. I'll be honest. Let's try, but I don't think we can. Short of taking the mayor out or taking Kate Toomey out, maybe even more other than police stuff than taking Kate Toomey out.
Right.
It would be taking out one of the genuinely nastiest people.
Yeah.
Like vile, mean, shitty human beings, and taking out their greatest, the developer class's greatest direct asset on city council.
Right.
And that the importance of that cannot be overstated.
The closest ear to their lips.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, do you remember when she freaked out on that cable show when Joe didn't appoint her to economic development?
No.
Like 4 years ago. So it was after the 2021 election, and Joe put Sean Rose, I think, as chairperson of economic development, and Candy Merrill Carlson was on like Rosen's Round Table, like a cable access show, and she's with 3 other people, Gary Rosen, Mo Bergman, somebody else, and they're all sitting in normal chairs, and then Candy Merrill Carlson is sitting on like a 4-foot-high stool next to them, so she's like towering above them, and she is completely freaking out that just ripping Joe Petty a new asshole on camera live. I'll have to splice in a clip here because it's something else.
You supported Rick Cipro, which is your right too.
So therefore, an individual should be punished for
you should be the chair of the committee,
doing a good job. I mean, I certainly, to be honest with you, I take a great deal of offense to that.
Watching that is sort of all you need to know about Candy Merrill Carlson. She wants to be the chairwoman of economic development for obvious reasons that we were just talking about vis-a-vis the developer community.
She may very well have even promised some people that she was going to be the chair of that committee. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
No heads up, no conversation, no nothing. I'm not sure which one of you said payback. I'm not sure what that payback was for.
And her and her husband run a wicked empire of just like the sleaziest sort of activity that can happen in the union world, you know.
Yes.
The kind of the AFL, the local AFL-CIO. I don't know, Chris, how much you should probably be talking about this, given what you do for work. But let's just say that they are the kind of organization that treats police unions as real unions.
Yeah, I'll say this: I wouldn't work for them for any amount of money.
Yeah.
That's. I think that's safe for me to say.
Yeah. I would, though. Candy, if you're hiring, I'll write you press releases. I'll chat GPT those press releases like crazy, you know?
Yeah, we'll have Grok do it.
Yeah.
Grok's a mecha Nazi now. I think it would be a match made in heaven.
Okay, so I'm blowing my load here because I wrote a little section and haven't put it up yet about Mecha Hitler. So I got food poisoning really bad on Saturday. So it was crazy. It was from a little sip of milk, and I was just like bedridden, moaning, going to the bathroom in a fugue state, couldn't talk to anybody, couldn't like read anything, couldn't even watch TV for 2 whole days. So Sunday and Monday, just gone. Tuesday, logging back into the real world, and the second or third story that I read is about Grok freaking out, and there's just one line in that story where I was just like stunned. It was a quote, by late Tuesday, Grok was referring to itself as Mecha Hitler, and I had to just like pause on that line and just like read it a couple times, and I was like, can I just get food poisoning again? I kind of don't want to be around anymore. That is so funny though that it just turned into a Nazi. Like, I don't understand AI enough, and I didn't read closely enough to know if that was like somebody like attacked it and made it do that, or if it just malfunctioned on its own.
So as it happens, I was listening to a Chapo episode literally on my way over here, and they were talking about exactly this topic actually, and so. Apparently, I understand very little about this. Another thing I've been trying to do is really, I talked about this recently, but try to stay off of Twitter as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I don't interact with Grok or other AI when I can possibly help it. So I was like, I don't know, that sounds bad. It all sounds bad. They were saying that apparently it was given instructions to essentially like not shy away from controversial topics if it could like adequately cite like evidence for why they're correct, and it immediately was like, you have an Ashkenazi Jew last name, we know like what all of those people do or something like that.
Oh, and my God.
I'm Mecha Nazi.
That's awesome.
The other interesting thing that they brought up is that apparently there's like a developer mode for some of these things where you can see, I will use giant air quotes around the word thought here. So just imagine them. But you can see how the AI is, quote, thinking, like what its inquiry is that helped it arrive from your question to its answer. And apparently an example of when it was queried about Israel-Palestine was that it would just query what Elon Musk has said about Israel. So the Mecha Nazi is just Elon Musk.
Dude, that's so funny. That's so funny that like whatever like developer was in charge of like the obvious directive from Elon Musk to make Grok less woke. He was like, "Hey, I can't do an Elon Musk voice. Elon Musk is just like, I think Grok's too woke. Can you make Grok less woke?" And then the developer is just like, writes in the code like, just have Elon's opinions.
Yeah. Like, can Grok actually just be me, Elon Musk? And you know what? Like, that, just like we talked about in Midgley's Mortar, that fills me with a small but intense amount of joy at what a fucking loser Elon Musk is, and how no amount of money or things that he can have will make him not a loser, who pays people to cheat at video games for him and spends his entire waking life on Twitter, but also that's not enough, and it's AI needs to also be him.
Yeah, that's it's again a psychic victory to know that, you know, the likelihood of either of us being homeless is a lot higher than attaining the level of monetary success as Elon Musk, but we'll never be that whack, right?
No, I feel safer than ever from ever being that whack, and that's not nothing. I'm very sorry you had food poisoning, and that you got it from RFK. I think we can say fairly.
Yeah, that's another thing I'll be writing about. The FDA has completely fallen apart, and in April they suspended, and it seems like it's going to be a permanent suspension of their fluid milk quality control and safety testing.
Great.
And that is a recipe for killing people, honestly, and I had just a small taste of it this week. So thank you, RFK. Your war against the deep state is going great, because I couldn't even get to the bank to cash my Soros check.
I've got a real left turn for you. Do you remember the Mooninite bomb scandal in Boston?
Mooninite?
Do you ever watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
No, actually.
Okay.
No, that's one of my black holes of culture I need to fill in.
So this will mean nothing to you, but I'm going to help it mean a little something to you, and I'm going to pull up an image here. While I do that, I will say, so for folks who don't know, the Mooninites are characters on Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which was an Adult Swim cartoon show that I deeply loved. And the Mooninites just kind of come down from the moon to, like, drink beer and make them do bad stuff, and give people the finger, and then they go back up. So they were doing a huge publicity push. This is in 2007. They were doing a huge publicity push with, like, remember guerrilla marketing, everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the aughts.
And when we were busting ads?
When we were busting ads.
We were busting ads and occupying Wall Street, dude.
Exactly. So some guerrilla marketing street team people put up signs, these light up signs of a Mooninite. And Bill, this is what a Mooninite looks like.
Okay, yeah.
So you see, it's just like a little, geometrical guy giving the finger.
Yeah. Little Tetris piece.
Yeah, little Tetris piece. That's a perfect description. So people started to find these, and the police got called in. And the police immediately lost their goddamn minds and started treating them all like they were potential bombs, and bringing the bomb squad in. And this is like on the news. It's on like breaking news. They've broken into all the morning television. I am at home with the flu. I'm like down bad with the flu, and I have a horrific fever, and I'm homesick from work, and I'm watching this happen, and I am at one point like trying to call the news stations to be like, it's a Mooninite, because like they don't know what it is. Yeah. And I'm like,
dummy, idiot,
and like
idiot, Mooninite.
Yes, it was one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had, because I'm there like in a fever dream, but it's real life, and I'm watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force Mooninites get blown up by the bomb squad. Anyway,
dude, that's crazy, kid. That would be such a good that if the newsroom was a good show, that would be a really good episode of it.
It really would have been. Yeah, I don't think I ever got anyone to I think they figured it out. I did not break the story on that one, regrettably. But I did try calling the news.
That's so. What year was that?
2007.
2007. That's awesome. That's like right about when, the stage of the war on terror, where the cops were realizing they were out of stuff to do.
That's exactly what it was. And it was before, like, the actual bombing and stuff happened in Boston. And it was really, I think you've really gotten right to the heart of it. It was when the cops had all of the toys that they got after September 11th, and they were like, all right, let's bring out the fucking explosives truck.
There has to be some sort of threat.
Let's blow up these little signs with the guys on them.
That's crazy. So this is entirely unrelated to Worcester, and I'll tell it briefly. But my first encounter with like realizing the extent to which. Oh my God.
Sorry, I was just showing Bill a state cop in a bomb vest pulling a Mooninite off of what I believe was one of the Pike bridges. Sorry.
So it was 2015, I think. I was working at Metro West Daily News, and the sleepy little town of Millis was within my beat. I was covering Ashland, Holliston, and if for any godforsaken reason something happened in Millis, which is a place where nothing happens, I had to cover that. Active shooting situation gets called in over the scanner in Millis. A cop, young cop, calls and says that a black guy shot at him out of a pickup truck and then drove away. Now, this is 2015, so this is like in the wake of Black Lives Matter Part 1, in the wake of Ferguson. And this is the time when the police were just sort of settling into like are we the baddies, sort of grappling with that question, right? So this kid calls in that a black guy shot at him. And it's like, oh, okay, this is very serious. When I got down to the scene, I saw it was like an army had invaded. There were like personnel carriers, like with like 8 guys in black tactical gear with assault rifles. There were like multiple helicopters flying overhead that were like armed. They were like I don't know helicopters, but they looked more like Vietnam helicopters than like news cam helicopters. You know what I mean? Like they were tactical helicopters. There were guys walking around with assault rifles on every corner. Turns out the kid made it up. And
really,
he was an auxiliary police officer, sort of like a hometown hero, captain of the football team type guy who was dipping his toes into becoming a police officer. He was probably 20, I don't know, like 21, 22. There's a lot more to that story after that, but he did actually get charged with whatever that charge is, with lying to investigators, or I don't know what the legal term is, but fabricating a report, something like that. And it was a whole thing for a while, but I will never forget the facade that gets ripped off like a Band-Aid, and like how they were so able so quickly to like show that they actually are an occupying army, like and that could just happen, right? And then like obviously Black Lives Matter 2020, that like I was in Boston for when they did what they did in Boston, and that's but it's I'm reading this book on the War on Terror right now by Spencer Ackerman. It's called A Reign of Terror, and it's just all about this kind of stuff, like the hyper-militarization and just throwing so much money at it and having nowhere for that money to go, and all of the problems that have manifested. I mean, like Eureka Street's a perfect example of that. Yeah, Department of Homeland Security. Who knew?
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole other thread that we should talk about some other time. But one of the things that has always fascinated me in trying to figure out like why these things work the way they work is, and it's a concept I weirdly don't hear people talk about a lot, and I'm not sure why. But the ability of the police to self-deploy is unique in emergency services. Like, if you're on the fire department and a big fire comes in, you don't just like jump in your truck and be like, "We're going."
Yeah.
You know, like they send
yeah.
the companies they send. It's the same for the ambulance.
Yeah.
Weirdly, cops can just do that.
Right.
Certainly in Worcester. I mean, we're not unique in that regard, but like a call will come in and cops just decide to go.
Right.
Sometimes from out of sector, whatever. So yeah, you get the guys who love to jump calls like that.
Yeah, cowboy up.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened on Eureka Street, honestly. Yeah. And actually, that reminds me, someone on, I think it was on like the Worcester subreddit or something, timestamps one of the body camera videos, and you can hear Auburn police being like trying to get in on the action. Like they wanted to drive in all the way from Auburn.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, because they're just bored. They like don't have enough to do, which is like why like the homelessness is the perfect like social ill for the police department to continue to worsen, because it just gives them something to do every day. But anyway, I don't know if we should go down that whole rabbit hole. You brought up Midgley's Mortar, and I wanted to open the episode with this, but I just wanted to say thank you to Reddit user Brilliant Holiday 224, who is the person who like pulled that old story out about the Frigate Hussar, and they followed up and sent me responded to a comment that I left on that thread about the Mortar, and said podcast was cool to listen to. So that's cool. The person was able to hear the podcast about the little thing they pulled up. Glad you enjoyed the article I dug up. And then they said they looked into the Frigate Hussar, and that's the real story. The gold that was on it is still missing. So the gold is ostensibly still at the bottom of the Hudson River or the East River, whichever one it was.
That's wild, because it was like a couple $1 million, right?
Yeah.
In like it would have been Revolutionary War era.
Yeah. There's just gold bars down there.
Damn.
In the mud. We got to get some scuba gear.
Yeah, we really do.
We got to get some scuba gear and the sort of income that gives you that free time. That's why everyone needs to subscribe to this podcast.
Yes.
But I asked Brilliant Holiday if there's a resolution to the story of the Mortar, if the Mortar was ever fired off, figuring, if they found the first one, then they definitely know the answer to the story. And they said they looked and couldn't find anything about the Mortar being fired off. So, leads me to conclude that 884-pound mortar is still in Worcester somewhere, unignited. So, any intrepid listeners want to start like a sort of national treasure style hunt, we got to find that mortar.
We do. We have to find that mortar. It could be in your basement. Get down there and look. Yeah,
we need to look up that guy's address, see which house he was living in, and maybe it's like it's one of those old houses that historically protected houses, and the mortar is still down there, and no one knows what it is, and they're just like, maybe it's an old boiler or something, and it's just the mortar. Man, it could still be out there.
I looked into it a little bit. I had a friend who has Antiquarian Society login who was going to check for me and probably forgot, so I'll remind him.
Yeah.
But I looked into it a little bit, and it sort of seems like if we have an angle on research that that is valid, and as long as the Antiquarian Society doesn't really look too much into anything else that you or we have done, maybe we could get a login. So I might try that.
Yeah, actually,
I'll find that.
I did a story about like a researcher at the Antiquarian Society last summer.
That's right.
The researcher that was looking at the old slave advertisements in the Telegram, in the Evening Gazette.
Right.
The Morning Telegram in the Evening Gazette. And so I like talked to the press lady there. So I have the email. I probably could just ask for a login and she give it to me. Yeah.
We should go there. I love an excuse to go there. I've been to their open house a couple of times. The Antiquarian Society is really cool.
Yeah, I got a tour as part of that story. It's so sick.
Yeah, it's really neat. And it's a very cool, unique thing that we have here.
Yeah, the stacks, dude. Have you had the tour? Walk around the stacks?
I've had a tour, probably not the same tour you got, because I've been on like the thing that like anyone can go to.
No, that was what I was on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yes.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love the stacks that, like the original stacks, because that building is so old.
Yeah.
That like the technology for preserving newspapers back whenever it was built was just to have the room be like made of iron with like glass floors or something, and so you're just walking on top of like 10-inch thick glass, and there's just like stacks and stacks and stacks of these newspapers and stuff.
Yeah, it's a really neat place, and there's not a lot of places that have a collection of sort of ephemeral documents, periodical documents like that, and we have one. And it's stuff from all over the country and the world, but a lot of it's from here.
Yeah.
And so we have sort of a unique record of our ephemeral history that not everywhere gets to have.
You know what I made a note of, and I am just thinking about it for the first time since I was there, but I made a note when I was there to go back, and they have a whole directory for folk songs, and they have a whole directory for like local folk songbooks. So there's like Worcester area, like sheet music and chords for folk songs that people were singing in this area in like the 1800s.
Damn, that would be really cool.
I think that like spending an afternoon with that would probably be able to pull out some gems pretty quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to find one about the greased pigs and.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine the the sea shanty style song about how you have to catch the pig on the 4th of July? Oh, we let the pig loose after we lube it and shave it, and we chase it around, and we hope the pig makes it.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Yeah.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. This greasy pig is on the run.
Yeah, we got work to do.
Yeah, I know, and we have to find a pig for next year. We have 1 year to find a pig, and I think that we just do guerrilla marketing style, baby. I think we shave it up, and we lube it up, and then we don't tell anybody, and we just set it loose.
I know at least 2 pig farmers. So
this won't even be hard.
Oh yeah, no, and I don't think they'd ask a lot of follow-up questions.
We can put like an air tag on him.
Yeah.
So we can find the pig at the end of the experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. It's settled then. So I don't know. I think that we've done a remarkable job of really not talking about anything at all, which is great. We should, I think, talk about Alex Guardiola's weird sort of his weird antagonistic sort of behavior toward the teachers union and teachers using the benefits that they deserve, right? So it was what was it, last Thursday's school committee meeting?
Yes.
Alex and I'm going off of just what you've told me because I actually haven't read about this yet. But Ashlyn had a bit about it in the preview of the meeting. But so he was questioning or asking for like justification for why teachers were using their sick time?
Yeah, it seems that way. So apparently, Alex Guardiola, school committee member, district chamber of commerce, not really, but basically, he asked for a report back last November, it looks like, looking for how many employees of the Worcester Public Schools had maxed out their sick time in the prior 2 years. And so they came back with a report from the Standing Committee on Finance, Operations, and Governance. That is the FOG Standing Committee. That showed how many employees had exceeded their 15 sick days that they get a year. And it was a total of 15 employees. The school district has 5,265 employees. So that accounted for 0.28 of 1%, 1/4 of 1% of the people employed by the school district dared to be sick more than the allotted time that they had.
What was he hoping to do with that information?
I don't know.
It's like an obvious pursuit of some sort of smoking gun, but to have stepped out against the people who are mostly going to decide whether you are re-elected, if anybody ever runs against him for that seat, which is another issue entirely. But it's like the teachers, like, why would you step out and try to crack down on teachers for using their sick time in the first place? Like, what is your problem with that?
Yeah, also just like all the staff too. And I mean, like, it should be said, it should be said, like, 3 weeks of sick time, I think to a lot of people, paid sick time sounds pretty good. And it is. And we should all have at least that.
Yeah.
15 people out of almost 5,300 people using more than 3 weeks of sick time could, say, for example, have had cancer or a heart attack,
right,
or some sort of other debilitating illness that takes more than 3 weeks to recover from. I know of examples. I mean, that's just, I know of examples where that has happened to people that are in the employ of the school district, which is not just the teachers,
right,
everyone.
Janitors, paraprofessionals.
Yeah, that is a very valid reason for 1/4 of people to have exceeded their sick time, their paid sick time. And all that means, by the way, is that they're going to have to take unpaid time or short-term disability or something like that. This kind of stuff happens to people, mental health crisis, for example. Any number of completely valid reasons. What makes this even better is Alex got this piece of data back. It showed that essentially no one is doing what could, even in bad faith, be construed as taking advantage of the policy, I would say. And then he said he didn't like that. So now he wants the data of people that used all their sick time, but not more than they get. Which is like asking for a report of people that like use all of their vacation time or something.
Right, yeah.
They get the sick time. I don't understand why I'm supposed to care about that.
I, Alex Guardiola, member of the school committee, hereby request report on every resort that any teacher of the Worcester Public Schools booked an all-paid week of vacation to. I want to know if they were in Buenos Aires. I want to know if they were in Tijuana. I want to know if they went to the Dominican Republic. I want to know where these teachers are vacationing.
Yeah, it's crazy. The quote from him in here, this is something we have to continuously watch and monitor. Substitutes can struggle with enforcing routines, leading to disruptions and increased instructional times.
Okay, please. He does not believe that, or that cannot be what is animating his pursuit of this line. of inquiry. What, that like teacher absences like are having such a big impact on education? He can't possibly believe that. Like
it's very puzzling. Like, this is something we have to continuously watch and monitor. Why?
Yeah,
like
why?
I genuinely don't understand why. I mean,
of all the problems,
right?
Like the Worcester public school district is not without its problems, but I don't think teacher absences even breaks like the top 50 of the problems with the district. Like, what is he talking about?
I think the instructional year is something around 35 weeks. So if you used 3 weeks of sick time, that would be less than 10% of the time. I'm sure that most teachers are not using that, but let's just say, like, I don't know, what happened when you were in school and your teacher was out sick and a sub came in? They, like, came in, maybe, like, threw a video in front of you or something for the day. You probably tried to break the rules because, you know, you could push the limit. I mean, I remember subs being fine, or fun, rather, but I was a shithead in school. But, yeah, I don't...
So, I think I might have an idea. I just remembered this because I seriously considered for a second doing substitute teaching as like a sort of like, you know how John Prine was a mailman?
Yeah.
And you just get a lot of stories that way. And I was doing that because Ashlyn wrote in one of her WPSN briefs about how the district was dealing with like a shortfall of substitutes. It was getting hard to like find substitutes to fill every absence. So I know why there's a shortage of substitutes, because it's $120 a day. Which,
yeah, that could do it.
I can make more than that landscaping. It's really bad pay. So like if I was looking into fixing the substitute problem, I would look at ways of increasing the per diem for substitutes, and then maybe like marketing the increased pay for substitutes. Maybe you get some more substitutes that way. Alex Guardiola maybe is looking at this substitute problem as not a compensation issue, but teachers are taking too many days off issue. Maybe that's where his mindset is, which would make perfect sense, because, you know, he works for the Better Business Bureau now and used to work for the Chamber of Commerce. Both of those organizations are within the sort of petty fiefdom of the small business tyrant. Like the small business owner who wants the government off their damn back and wants the government's hand out of their pocket, and if they could help it even a little bit, would not offer one sick day to their employees, right?
Yeah, I actually have a little funny little update on that. Actually, Alex Guardiola, no longer employed by the Better Business Bureau, departed his job after just 1 year.
Where'd he land?
He has landed as an independent. He's focusing on independent business consulting.
Oh, the Walter Bird approach.
Yes.
Sky High Media. Oh my God.
Yeah. He's gonna do his own little Sky High Media.
Maybe he's gonna run a city council campaign into the ground.
He lasted there all of 12 months and said, "We decided we're parting ways," adding that he had no further comment on the reason for his departure.
The Better Business Bureau said, "We need a better business. We need a better business, bro." Yeah.
In fact, quote from the chair of the BBB here, the BBB Board of Directors: "Alex's departure was a mutual decision based on different views of the future of the organization."
Oh, okay, so it actually was.
Yeah, sounds like you sucked at your job. And now You are a wealthier person's version of mostly unemployed. And I would also love to know, Alex, how many weeks of sick time you got in your head of the Better Business Bureau job.
Right.
Was it more than 3?
Yeah, right. Man. It sucks that no one is running against him.
Yeah, it really does.
It's this school committee redistricting was a disaster. Frankly.
Yeah. An unmitigated disaster.
We had the best public board I have ever seen in any town that I have covered before the redistricting. And it got ruined.
Yeah.
We'll never know for sure, and doesn't matter, but it could have played a part in Rachel Manara's considering that this place is not the job wasn't worth it for her anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Certainly seems possible. Yeah, it is a disaster. It has failed in all of its stated goals, and in a way that feels almost intentional. Almost like some people in the city said, "Oh, you want to change the way that these seats are districted? You will get that change good and hard." Right.
Yeah. Maybe sometime this election season, it would be good to have on Corey Brisby from DSA, who did a lot of work on this. I actually had a sit-down meeting with him one time where he brought a whole binder explaining this, because I was like, I really don't understand this lawsuit at all. He's like, I got you. I'll explain it. And the lawsuit, it's not really the organizers of the lawsuit campaign's fault that we have the system. It's they made it so that the city had to do something to ameliorate it. And one of the things that it could have done was a ranked choice voting system. No one talks about that. That did not come up at all during the entire process of this, because that was a decision that was made unilaterally, behind closed doors, that we're not going to do that. And that's pretty obviously the solution that would have been the best. And instead they it seems pretty intentionally went with the most convoluted thing that they were legally allowed to do.
Yeah, and they did the thing, as we are wont to do. They did the thing that every actual expert or experienced person in this realm said right from the jump was the worst thing that they could do. It would be the worst way to achieve the stated goal of greater diversity and representation. It would also break sort of a long-standing point of pride for the school committee, that there not be districts, so that you don't have people who are advocating for this area of the city or that area of the city to get the better shit.
Right.
Because that doesn't go well for under-resourced communities ever. And it decided to do the exact thing that would make all of those problems worse. And what do you know? Here we are, round 2 in this new system, and everything's worse.
Man, yeah, it's well, hey, at least we have a lot of really good public pools, and we get them open on time.
Yeah, yep, at least there's that.
There's not much to say about that, but it is so embarrassing that we Indian Lake is beyond anyone's control for the most part. That gets closed due to bacteria from lawn fertilizers. Maybe a lawn fertilizer, synthetic or whatever it is, ban would help, but you can't really control the bacteria in the water. The valve being about to shit the bed in the community pool in the most economically disenfranchised part of the city is such an avoidable calamity that it really does feel like an intentional fuck you, you know?
Yeah, and people who are newer to the city may not have this this sort of like institutional memory, but as it happens, one of the first grassroots, I think the first grassroots campaign that I ever worked on locally, and by worked on, I mean I was just like a person who showed up with signs and stuff at city council like everyone else did. I didn't like run it. Was the Save Our Pools campaign.
Right.
And that was a campaign. We used to have 10 or 15
I think it was like 12,
yeah. And they were allowed to fall into disrepair in all of the predictable areas. And there was a big grassroots campaign from the community to save those pools. And the short version is we lost. We lost almost all of those pools. Some of them were replaced by spray parks. Some of them were replaced by nothing. And now we're letting what little of that infrastructure we have fall apart again. Yeah, it's not a new problem. It's a problem that any competent overseers should be easily able to manage. And they don't. They don't give a shit. And this happens every year that some pool or another, usually Crompton, is late to open or it has to close, etc.
Right. Yeah. That. I mean, maybe at some point this summer, if I have a really slow week, I'll go back into the archives and revisit the Save Our Pool stuff, because it was like sort of like an moment for a lot of the animosities in the city. But I'm not speaking confidently here, but because I wasn't around for it at the time, I don't know that, but like, so the rationale for closing them was like an insurance thing, right?
It was a few things. One, it was allegedly a safety argument, because like people could get into the pools when there aren't lifeguards, and we can't get enough lifeguards. Which, what do you know? We can't get enough lifeguards because we pay fucking shit to lifeguards. We still can't get enough lifeguards.
Right. Yeah.
But yes, part of it was safety, or quote unquote safety. Part of it was just how in disrepair some of the facilities had been allowed to get, and how much money it would cost to bring them back up to a workable standard, and that spray parks are cheaper, which is true, they are. They also suck if you're like not a child.
Yeah. You know what you don't learn how to do in a spray park?
Mm-hmm.
You don't learn how to swim.
Yep. And kids in this city drown at an alarming rate using unsanctioned swimming areas, because kids want to swim, and we could teach them how, but mostly we don't.
That's this is a couple of years out, and people might not remember it, but do you remember? I mean, this is actually one of the most flabbergastingly like cruel things that the city has done. Lakeside Apartments had that little swim hole on Coe's Pond, and I think this is like an Augustus tenure decision, but they used funding that was made available to them as an environmental, like through the environmental justice program. So like environmental justice communities, that's like, the combination of poor and like bad climate effects. So like shade trees are a good example of an environmental justice issue. The city used environmental justice issue funding that they got to cordon off and destroy a swimming area for Lakeside Apartments and put in its place a boardwalk through a swamp, claiming that it was like a nature walk.
Yes, and also to have and lock a gated fence in between Lakeside and even that area.
Right.
They literally fenced off one of the only natural areas around this public housing from the people in the public housing, and did not fence it off from anyone else, not from any of the single-family homes that
you can still walk to it from
side.
Stern's Tavern
Yep.
quite easily, but yeah, that's that was one of the grossest things. That's when I met Nelly for the first time.
I was going to say, anyone who knows Nelly Medina, Nelly can tell you all about this.
Yeah, that was that's just such a classically Worcester, like such a classic Massachusetts Democrat thing, to use environmental justice funds to just do like light petty class warfare, right? it's crazy. But anyway, I think that's probably a good place to leave it.
Yeah. I probably should get going. Aaron's making pizza tonight.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, me and Katie were talking about pizza and salad night. We're not going to make it, but we're going to probably get it from Burnt Coat Pizza.
That's fair. That's usually what we do. But Aaron has gotten into making this really simple, like Sicilian style, like sheet pizza.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it like a little thick crust kind of thing?
Yep. Very crust centric.
Those Sicilian pies are so good.
It's almost like a pizza on a crunchy focaccia.
Right. Yeah.
It is bitchin', and that's what's for dinner.
That's awesome, dude. You gotta get out of it. You gotta haul ass back there. Get some of that nice Sicilian pie.
Oh yeah.
Anybody listening to this is ever in Portland, Maine, the restaurant Crust is a Sicilian pie. That's all they do, and it is top 10 pieces of pizza I've ever had. It's really good.
Yeah, I have been there. It is very good.
Oh, you've been there?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, all right, nice. Yeah,
I've eaten a lot of pizza in Portland, as it happens. Otto's, completely different. But
Otto's is good. Yeah,
is another
good, yeah.
very good Portland area pizza place. Their potato pizza is one of my
that thing,
favorite things on earth.
That thing goes stupid hard. Yeah, Portland, great food town. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, similar size to Worcester, really good food town. Worcester had a chance there for a second. I don't think we're ever crawling out of our food town hole that we're in right now.
No, and I mean, I would still argue that Worcester, in ways, is still a good food town, but not in that kind of way.
No,
I don't think we're ever coming back from that. And
we're a good food town in the Belmont Veg, Loving Hut, like Greek pizza place.
Yeah. Fatima's, Greek pizza.
Delot.
Yes.
So like our small, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like immigrant. I don't know what you would. We need a good punchy, buzzy term for this kind of like a takeout spot run by an immigrant family.
Yes.
Is where Worcester shines culinarily. But it really punches above its weight in that regard.
Yes. Takeout spot run by an immigrant family, usually primarily serving the community of immigrants also from that place.
Yes.
Like, that's very key. You want Vietnamese
Aniac
food.
Chrome?
What's that?
Aniac Chrome?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Kenyan, right? Or
Kenyan or Ghanaian, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yes, you want food made by immigrants who mostly are feeding the immigrants who come from the same place. That is what you're looking for. We do have a lot of that, but
I'm going to work on my pitch for Bon Appetit, coming up for a buzzy term for that kind of restaurant, a Bob's Burgers, if you will.
Yeah.
It's of course Bob's Burgers was created by a guy from Worcester.
Of course.
If you watch that show and you think like this is set in Worcester, it kind of makes like perfect sense.
Yes, except that I really wish we lived in the community that Bob's Burgers is set in. That is like a wonderful, small, urban, walkable community. And every time I watch that show, I'm like, man, I wish I lived there. Like walk down to the pier and
Yeah, could walk anywhere without dying. Yeah. So if you have, dear listener, we'll leave you on this note. If you can come up with a word for what those restaurants are that sounds cool, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments, or let's get the conversation going. We need a word. Mom and pop, not good enough. Mom and pop doesn't quite cut it. Mom and pop evokes like a diner, like a Midwestern diner, right? Like it needs to be a better term than that. But it's not coming to me right now.
Yeah, hit us with it. Let's see what you got.
All right. Well, we'll be back again probably this time next week. And thank you everyone for listening. And don't forget, this Thursday and then July 31st, 2 cool events. The Rob Bellata event on this Thursday at Ralph's Rock Diner, and then at Steel and Wire, 7 p.m. on the 31st is the Worcester Sucks Election Squad number 1. So I hope to see some people there. And if I don't, that's okay. I'll just hang out at Steel and Wire, have a couple drinks.
Not the worst thing that could happen.
Not the worst thing that could happen. That's certainly sure. All right, Chris. I'll let you get to that Sicilian pie, and just know that I'll be jealous.
I am very sorry to everyone who has to hear about it and not eat it. Make your own Sicilian pie. Be the Sicilian pie you want to see in the world.
Perfect. All right.
Later.